like, though, Fury could end up being the punching bag this stage, which would be quite disappointing because we think back to last year, and the beauty of APAC South was from 1 to 8, it was very close, minimal point differences. And yet it's almost shaping up to be just that little bit more top heavy this stage to start off 2022 at the unfortunate expense of Fury, because right now, this is the damning statistic. Through 3 play days, they are 3 round wins for 17 round losses. That is awful percentage-wise. They need to start just finding round wins. Forget about actual game wins. Forget about 3 points. Forget about 1 point. They just got to get themselves into these games. So far, they've lost like 12 or so rounds in a row. I mean, this is just not looking good for them.
Yeah. Baby steps for Fury for the remainder of this game, and dare I say it, the stage made the call last week that last is looking very much a possibility for them, if not a certainty. And as time goes by, it just becomes more and more apparent that they are not quite at the level they need to be competitive here in APAC South. And it's so disappointing.
Yeah, that's
so disappointing.
Yeah.
Because we know at their best that they can take it up. They had such a long-standing rivalry with Elevate, for example, trading blows. And we know that they can be such a strong team, but they have always just failed to take that next step. And as every team has seemingly gone forwards, they have been left stuck in the mud. And unfortunately, that analogy probably reflects some of their attacks, just really struggling to get in towards the map. Knights having free reign here over towards Stat, and Fury not having a response as of yet.
Oh, that's just unfortunate timing for Spacehead. When it rains, it pours, and right now it's pouring all over Fury. Their attack has just been so uneventful. They lose the sledge, and Spacehead, obviously their star player, Quiz. Now that's a little bit sloppy, yet like Hollis can't punish her. I thought he was dead to rights. Just left that window all to his lonesome. Stiggs does fall. Knights have got a couple of low players. Quiz gets an easy one. That's defused it down on top of the bed in Master Bedroom. Minute 40 left into the round. Here in the 4th, easy headshot for Mopey and gets it onto Quiz. And remember, Josh is low on the Thorn. Juicy, full health smoke, has 3 gas babes, needs to get involved on the front line.
This is the respect factor we talked about. I think the Knights may be pushing the envelope a little bit too much in this round. Sure, you've won the first 3 straight, you have great confidence, and you're willing to contest map control, but probably overstepping the line there. Props to Fury, they punished them. They can now reset. 3 drones sent out with a minute 20 available, so they have a huge pocket of time to work with here. They can drone outside, make sure no one's lurking on red stairs, for example, or tucked away in a corner. No one's holding 90, and that should give them the confidence and the free will to now push forward. Unfortunately, though, Lycolis did die, so the hard breach once again compromised here for Fury. That means that they'll need to try and push through model, maybe send a player down long as well to create that pincer. But again, time is on their side, so they can make this work. Man advantage as well, clearly on their side as well.
No more adrenal surges available from Hajime. Gas Babe slowly going out from Juicy, knowing time is of the essence, 30 seconds remaining, looking to just try and block off some entryways. Hajime repelling. This better work out, because time is not that much on the side of Fury and has forced a 2v2 for the time being. At least does get studied control. But it seems like Josh has made his way into games. 15 seconds left. They have absolutely been methodical here. Oh, Juicy could swing, and it's so unfortunate that he just didn't really hold the angle. Instead, he walked into the doorway. Fury get the round. They get a much-needed round.
A lot cleaner there from Fury, able to dismantle an overly zealous roam there from the Knights. Some smiles as well. Great to see. Wasn't a bad start necessarily for the Knights. They did get that open Nitro, but then they probably went a little bit too far. A lot of aggression over towards Bedroom. The diffuser obviously dropped, but Fury able to pick that back up. Big amount of time, big chunk of time to drone ahead, and they just got the job done. Like Coles with a late rotation as well to make things even more difficult for the Knights, and they finally get around to the ball.
Yeah, I mean, better, right? And that's really what Fury need to be approaching each round to set out to achieve, to just be that little bit better and a little bit cleaner. Yeah, there's probably some mistakes from Knights, but Fury still have to be there to capitalize, and they did just that. Now it's about being able to take that one round and multiply it, get a couple in a row, get some momentum on your side. It's not impossible to come back from a 0-3 start. It really isn't. We've seen it all too far often. It's just about staying with the Knights here, because the Knights obviously switched on. They had a great start. Sage 7-1. Stiggs is playing well. Quiz is playing well. And you know Josh is going to continue to find frags, and really they don't need to rely on Juicy to get kills, but yet he can do so quite freely. So solid team that has started well, and Fury, if they can respond here, could do so much for their confidence as a team.
Expecting a pretty aggressive roam here from the Knights. We could see silhouettes down below. The kind of fragging power you would expect to make that work. In response, though, Fury, again, the Nook being dabbled in here by the attack. Can try and sneak forward past any of those default cameras or any drones collected by Josh on the Mozzie. Very strong kit, nades as well, but it's dark to get the first pick. A lot sharper here from Fury.
Yeah. Way better at just being able to be quite clean early on in these rounds. I think you said the first couple of rounds, their mid rounds were good, but now the early game just started to be a bit better. As it was in the 4th round, now in the 5th round too. And getting rid of Josh, nice, great player. He's gone now. Dark having a good game, just quietly 6-3 now. It gives Fury such a significant advantage, especially on Stat Trophy, where that vert play is so important. They've got full control down below. Sage, though, still lingering. Does he have an impact? Does he try and push his way through sheets and maybe swing? Actually, he's in basement.
Well, he could go for a pantry flank there. I think there might have been a drone pre-established though, so he needs to be careful. In fact, it's just up ahead. You can see Dark.
Beautiful. Beautiful work, Observer.
Remember that later in the round if the flank does come into fruition. In the meantime, though, Fury need to begin working sight. 2 minutes now down, 60 seconds to go. A nade from below could open up the round. 6 available here for Fury. So something should be found. Util, all players, either or would be great. Now for the hard breach. Lacked last time, but like Colas with the exothermic on the thermite. We'll pop that open straight away, but it gets impact tricked. You can hear it in the background. Good response there from the Knights. Again, delaying more time. It's becoming a big point in this round. The time alone is going to cost Fury if they don't speed things up.
Oh, they're struggling a little bit here as well, and they haven't been able to even have a look in towards Astro. That's exactly what we saw Lycolis want to do. Then he's had to come back over to the wall. 25 seconds left. This is all Knights to win from here, despite being a player down. It's Juicy who opens it up, gets rid of Dark. Quiz is still worried about impacting the wall, and he's done it again. 15 seconds left. Wall is going to stay up for the rest of this 5th round, and now it's Fury that are just going to funnel in. Quiz should be able to at least get 2 here. Sage is the one that gets 2 in the kill feed. Elsewhere on the map, it's only Hajime left, and Quiz was watching the whole time. Got the job done on the wall. The impacts were flawless. They get the job done on the round. Knights with a 4-1 lead.
The hard breach from Fury in this game has been infuriating. It has been really rough to watch. But the credit has to go where the credit is due. The Knights with their impact tricks have been phenomenal. And despite the efforts, they're the best efforts from Fury to tuck the exothermic in the wall by pre-sledging the reinforcement. Doesn't work out. And that limited their routes in towards the site. It limited the pressure they could place on the likes of Quiz. The Knights able to mop up elsewhere, able to tidy up in response to that early game, which from Fury was amazing. It was so clean. But unfortunately, it did unravel, and the Knights now really establishing some serious dominance in this first half.
Yeah. They got that one round on AVG. You thought maybe Fury could, I don't want to say snowball off of that because it's only the one round, but at least build from that. And while that last round wasn't completely awful for the entirety of it, when it got down to that sort of final minigame, they just capitulated. To the credit though of Quiz, right, with the impacts and being able to deny the exothermic. There's a large part of that really is also down to him being able to get those nades up and over. So Knights right now by far and away the better team, and the scoreboard well and truly reflecting that here too. It's concerning for Fury because you start to wonder, I know this is only the 3rd Playday, but it's a 7 Playday season. Where are their wins going to come from? You look at that leaderboard and I question where wins are going to come from. So points are hard to get for them, and you know, against a Knights team that has been up and down, you know, demolished by Wildcard, beat Renatus. Don't know quite what you're going to get. Well, you're getting the very good Knights right now.
Same setup again here up above. Double reinforcement on the triple wall and Josh holding down the line. Almost thought that was the Yana, but obviously a cloak. Dark though to follow up aggressively, and Josh responds with the Nitro. Josh has been such a sleeper in this match. He's been having such an impact though. It hasn't felt like he's been having, you know, lighting up the kill feed, multiple kills each round, but he has been significantly holding back these attacks with these extensions, doing a super good job, and that's a great way to open up the round for the Knights.
Sage up to 8-1 though. Obviously, when you think about kills and that impact, well, he is definitely setting the pace there. Minute 35 remaining here in the final round of the first half, and it is all Knights. Social vote said all Knights. The caster prediction said all Knights. The game, well and truly, is all Knights so far. Things can change though. But down a player now, backs up against the wall for Fury. What have they got to turn this around?
Well, they need to find something. Again, I look up the clock, 60 seconds to go. What has Fury achieved? Bit of control up above and a bit of pressure, but players still isolated outside, like Colas with the diffuser in hand. Probably expecting him to go out towards Laundry. Hajime through the drone hole, that's a Claymore. Very typical spot, and unfortunately for the Knights, it's overlooked. Josh taken down. A delayed trade from Fury, but it keeps them in this round.
Yeah, gives them that sign of hope that maybe they could pinch this round, get it to a 4-2 scoreline, and hope this ends up being a defender-sided Villa. Gives hope for the second half. Spacehead gets through to Stiggs. Ping, Quiz follows up. He's been so good. Goes back down. Hajime falls elsewhere. Now it's a 2 versus 2. Sage into Sheets. And Quiz over towards China Room. 20 seconds remaining in this round. Wall still up and still electrified. So Sage is very much protected on site. Both full health, nades in hand for Quiz, and like Colas and Spacehead, already the information well and truly known to the Knights. It's a 5-1 half. Again, the mid-game, not that bad from Fury. It's the late round execution that continues to let them down. A very solid half, though, from the Knights.
Not too much to fault the Knights on there in the first half. A bit of a blip on the radar as they drop around, but outside of that, looking cool, calm, and collected. The most cohesive we have seen this revitalized roster so far in the stage. Confident all around there on those defensive efforts. Now we switch roles. Knights over across to the attack. AVG, they'll set their sights on that for the first round. Fury need to muster up a response. We said before that it's been a disappointing start for them, and maybe the goal of winning games is not a realistic prospect at the moment. It's more so about nailing down rounds and taking a round by round approach. Honestly, it serves teams well. And if you want to mount a comeback in this particular matchup, and
well, is that where really the team should be? Because they're the only team that came into the stage with no roster changes. They have made a playoff appearance in stage 2 last year. They're clearly a team that has experience and has played together into a stage where you've got every other team making a minimum of 2 changes. I don't know if this is where they really should be on their timeline, and I don't think this is where they expect it to be.
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb and defuse it.
I think they would say the same. And if this trend continues, it's not going to be long until we see roster changes. Either that or I don't even know. Things get very dark. I think there needs to be changes at some point across the line. If this continues, this might just be a very rough start to the stage. I don't want to again write them off because we know that they can play well. But
it would be a very, very rough stage. I don't know. Spacehead almost gets just eliminated by Stiggs that easily. I mean, and even Spacehead, who obviously is the clear standout star player for Fury, hasn't got going at all this stage. Yep. I know they're missing Producer Boom in this particular game, but I mean, they got 7-0'd with him anyway last week. And obviously, IG kind of tore them apart 7-3 and Playday won. There are issues. There are issues right now for Fury. It's just a matter of, can they as a team overcome those issues and come through it on the other side for the better? Juicy just literally waltzes on through Astro. Clean headshot onto Spacehead. Hajime just has to fall back and watch as Moby falls over at landing and goes for the swing. Can't even land that. Oh, never mind. Actually did find the elimination onto Josh, but was traded immediately by Juicy. This round is over. I think this game alongside it is over. It's 6-1 coming up very shortly.
Knights with the chokehold. squeeze a little bit harder, and I think Fury might pop. Tough to see them coming back, as you mentioned, from this round or the match as a whole. Maybe even the stage. Never feels right to rule out a team this early, but look at that. The Knights too sharp. Fury silenced in the first 3 play days here of APAC South 22. No roster changes, and doesn't look like there's much hope for them either. Dark, though, tries to mount something sharp. 1v4, the nade drops, but he survives.
Wow.
Juicy, though, to recollect that pick, and Knights on match point.
Love the synergy there from the Knights. Nate goes through. Juicy knows he's forced up the top of Brown stairs and just watches and waits. Match point. And what has been a dismal performance from Fury. Knights have been great. You've got to give them the plaudits. There's been little moments from Fury, but for the most part, Knights by far and away have been the better team. It's not being close, as the scoreboard does suggest. 6-1 match point. If Knights make this a 7-1 result, guys, it'll be 4 rounds won to 21 rounds lost in their first 25 rounds of the season.
Jeez. It's pretty grim.
It's very grim. I think it's the most grim we've seen a team in APAC South. I might
be a good
take
start.
a quick little wander. Back in stage 1 last year, it was a -14 round differential for wildcard. They picked up 6 points. Stage 2, the bottom team had 8 points, which was order -6, so they were still at least competitive. And stage 3 was -3, Knights with 7 points. And I don't think this Fury roster is getting anywhere near those kind of point tallies or round differential numbers. This could very well be, historically, our worst team ever in APAC South if they can't turn it around in the second half of this stage.
Attackers' objective is to locate a bomb and defuse it.
Jeez. It's really, really tough at this point to see that come into fruition. They're lagging behind the competition quite significantly at the moment. And top 4 make it to the APAC playoffs to face off against the top 4 from APAC North. All those teams battling it out for a spot at the upcoming major. That's a discussion that Fury may not find themselves in, unfortunately. If they do end up losing this game in regulation, no points, 3 play days. You do the math, that leaves 4 play days, and they'll basically need to go flawless from that point onwards, considering how tight the mid-table is. So something is going to have to kick into gear. As well, this is Fury not with their full roster. There was maybe an inkling that could change things for the better, but it seems like it's honestly same. So that would suggest that the fundamentals for Fury, the core roster, just not quite up to scratch at the moment. And is that a meta issue? Is that a current map pool issue? Not sure. Is it a continuation from last year? It could be any of those things, but it'll be up to Fury to do some soul searching over the next few weeks to try and nut out those issues really, really quickly, because they don't have a large window of opportunity to bounce back.
Trying to find some sort of solace of hope, but Dark's been pretty decent. 7 and 6. It's not... You're kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel and trying to find any semblance of good news from Fury out of this. So you'd just be lying to yourself at this point. I mean, there's still time. I mean, the game's not over. Josh has a ping onto Hajimate. The nade doesn't quite land entirely the way he would like. Dark over towards red stairs.
Attackers recovered the diffuser.
It's not impossible to come back from a deficit of 6-1. It's been done before. It's just a matter of how much do you want to keep fighting and to keep plugging away at it. And considering for Fury, it's really all about as many rounds as they can kind of get under their belt and to improve on. You've really got to be treating each round here so importantly.
Nothing to lose at this point. Give it all you've got. See what you can produce. For the Knights, though, it's all about closure. Josh, red stairs, bad timing, shut down. Dark with a good entry there for Fury. Sage follows up, though. A delayed trade onto Spacehead. 4v4 as Quiz enters over towards Study. Now, this is on the other side of the map. Stat objective. Hajime close by at Skull, but another quick trade. Sharp from the Knights.
It's still better, though, from Fury. They're finding picks, holding good angles, holding good positions. I mean, a little questionable from Josh. Didn't quite fully clear red stairs. He just kind of did a half-hearted attempt at doing that, but still better from Fury. They lose like Colas though to Stiggs, and now he's in the master bedroom. Trades flying all around the map. It's only Dark that remains. Does get rid of Stiggs though. Now in a 1 versus 1 to keep this game alive, and it's not possible. Quiz will finish it all off. 7-1 is the final result here. The Knights far too good against Fury. A damning statistic, 7-1, and also Now 4 rounds won of 25 rounds played for Fury. 0 points, the only team after 3 play days that will be still on that